This is Terrence Howard. Born March 11th, 1969, he's an American actor and complete fool. It's been known for some time now that Terrence has some weird theories regarding the universe and science in general. But only recently has it come to public attention, though, due to his appearance on JRE, where he made an absolute goof out of himself.
The periodic table is laid out. The periodic table they have now.
Let's see.
It looks like a box. It looks like a straight box.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't show the relationship that between every element, there's two
All right, here's the periodic table.
You'll see hydrogen sitting all the way over there by itself, but they don't show that hydrogen has the same tone as carbon.
What do you mean by tone?
Same tone, same key of E. Same key of E. 40.5 hertz. The next one would be like 81 hertz. You go to silicon, it will double up and would be 162 hertz. You'll go to cobalt, and it'll be 324 hertz. It's, in that base, if you were to take the angles of incidence or the tones that they create, their color. Like you can turn color back into sound based upon, it's the same wavelength, it's just twice as long.
Now that was Terrence on his first JRE appearance, where he originally started to discuss those ideas. It was at this point where everyone started talking, really. Most opinions were negative, but he did have some supporters for some reason. Nothing Terrence has ever discussed has been backed by any form of identifiable, legitimate science. He uses scientific buzzwords and over-explains in order to convince you that he knows what he is talking about. He is either insane and oblivious, or fully knows what he is doing and is trying to deceive you. He even tried to contact Neil deGrasse Tyson, sending him a 35-page essay. Here's Neil responding and basically shutting down the entire thing.
I got name-checked because 8 years ago, he sent me a 36-page treatise.
And it was only 36 pages.
So this is Terrence Howard attempting to reinvent mathematics. I actually spent time reading every line of all 36 pages, and I commented. My comments are in red here. You see that? So I spent a lot of time on it, and I thought, out of respect for him, what I should do is give him my most informed critical analysis that I can. It can never occur that the square root of a given number, when added to itself, is greater than the initial number squared, for that would expose a loose thread within the fabric of our understanding, a loose thread capable of unraveling the very ground rules of mathematics. That's a bold statement. So then I just say, this opening thesis is false. There are plenty of examples of this that have escaped your attention. His statement is shown to be false for every number that's less than 1 and greater than 0. For example, the square root of 0.64 is 0.8. 0.8 is bigger than 0.64, and it's a larger number than the original. And 0.64 squared equals 0.4096, a smaller number than the original. To the extent that the next 35 pages depends on your stated thesis, this fact undermines your claims and assumptions and conclusions.
Now, despite all that negative feedback, Terrence continues to push this narrative because, of course he does. This guy is insanely narcissistic and stubborn. Now, he recently came back to JRE, but this time it was to debate Eric Weinstein, which was a really bad idea on his part, considering Weinstein is a legit scientific guy. I mean, this guy has a PhD in mathematics straight from Harvard, so...
Terrence has much greater odds of contributing to the world of engineering than he does to the world of mathematics. I mean, the odds that he's doing something new in mathematics, I'll be blunt, are very, very small.
Even though I have patents on it that shows that all of this is
I
novel?
don't want to go there. The patents do not speak to what you think that they speak to.
That's okay.
And look, you can see into my heart. I'm not trying to.
No.
All right.
But we were talking. I told you that
Yeah.
they produce a supersymmetrical structure.
When
that,
you say supersymmetry, I don't know that you know what a supersymmetry is.
What does supersymmetry mean to you, Terrence?
Supersymmetry means that all things come together, fit together, relate to each other. They're self-referential, and they are from a fractal that comes back to that same fractal space. That's supersymmetry.
So what you mean is a symmetry that is amped up, but supersymmetry is a reserved term that means something hyper-particular
And that's what this
between
is.
bosons and fermions.
That's what this is. This is the bosons. For the layman out there, the boson, the cloud, the whole boson thing is the force field or the energy field. The fermions is considered the matter aspects of it.
So if we can go into he's got 5 of these patterns, one of which he calls the
But what is wrong with the term supersymmetry?
Then I want to see an algebra, which is a linear vector space, which has an object called a bracket, and I want to see that bracket obeys a super Jacobi identity, and otherwise there's no supersymmetry.
But
So
is
it's a specifically used scientific term,
it's a
and he's using it
reserved term of
incorrectly.
art.
Yeah, but it's geometry is its own proof. Supersymmetry in geometry allows you to visualize, like you look at the ocean and you see the supersymmetry associated with it.
I think what he's saying is you're talking about a thing and you're using the term supersymmetry, and he's saying that supersymmetry only applies to a very specific thing.
Because in their
That's been
math,
defined.
No, in their math, the platonic solids, like I said before, have a discrete symmetry. You can only line up the blocks and all of those things. You can't put all of them together and tell a full story to where they fold into each other.
I don't think he's disagreeing with you with that. I think he's disagreeing the term
You're
that
using
you're
a
using.
reserved term of art, and
Okay.
you're using it incorrectly.
In the world of physics, in the world of
Yeah.
mathematics, is there a supersymmetrical system, geometric system, ever been produced in mathematics?
Yes, in mathematics, yes.
What
We've
is
never
it?
seen
What
super Poincare algebra.
Yeah, but that what
Super Poincare algebra.
Yeah, but that
The reason that science works as well as it does is that up until very recently, there were clear rules, cultures. We agreed to leave certain things that are at the door, like our religious beliefs. We agreed to submit to certain sorts of things. We were decent to each other. And that system is in a process of collapse at the moment, all right?
it behaves. Here, Joe.
Okay.
So you can have it, and you can have a larger one or a smaller one.
By the way, I would be honored to
I'm gonna
have
give you some of these pieces.
anything that you make of this
I'm
type in
about
my
to-
home. 'Cause
I'm
it's
about
very,
to-
very cool.
So when I put 10 of them together, they look like this.
Yeah. It's a proof, effectively, that people don't know where it's coming from. A lot of this is real as geometry. If you look at the thing that he calls the Terrenton, right?
The tetrian. What
Te-
the,
tet-
the
the-
tetrian is the
tetrian.
The tetrian
Okay,
is just
so
the
the
tip.
tetrian that is the thing that is closest to us, the black thing that is closest to us.
Yeah.
That one.
So he then starts to make noises about it. And he says things that I don't love, which are that those faces he associates with the electric field. And the vertices, which sometimes he calls vortices and sometimes, I'm not quite sure, he associates with the magnetic field.
Yes.
Now, I don't have a clue
Why I'm
he
saying
says the next thing, which is, and because the number of magnetic and the number of electric things are balanced, they cancel out, and therefore it's the weak force. And to me, it's just like super cool stuff, and then suddenly turns into horseshit.
But listen, why? Here
Okay.
we have those two tetrians on the end. They both have equal poles, 4 electric poles and 4 magnetic poles, according to how I see it. Where magnetism is spinning off of the tips, the vortices, because it's no longer able to maintain that center space of spinning centripetally.
I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Yeah, what brought you to that conclusion?
With what?
The way you're describing the energy involved in this.
Well, anytime you look at electricity, that was one of the things that Victor Schauberger was talking about. Electricity it's when water starts to spin to the right, it cools down. That's the natural nature of electricity. Electricity is colder. It flows better in the coldest environment. So as it's cooling down, as it's spinning down to a higher point, trying to get to that higher point, that's the highest point there. It's looking for the highest density. That's the north. North is always the highest density. South, no matter where you are, south is always away from the higher point when you're talking about universally, not talking about geographically on the earth. North is always seeking a higher position. South is always seeking a lower position. That's based upon stuff that Walter Russell talked about, based upon the stuff that Victor Schauberger talked about. But it's a problem with the definition of the words, the terms.
Right, but your description of electromagnetic force and magnetism, like what is happening that it's bringing you to this conclusion that you're so specifically saying that something that you literally can't even see with the human eye is happening very clearly.
I'm saying 4 magnetic fields are pushing in on that area.
I don't see magnetic fields.
And there's more. In 2001, Terrence Howard was arrested in relation to assaulting his wife. He allegedly broke down the door to her home, charged at her, and hit her multiple times in the face with a closed fist in front of their kids. There are also allegations concerning Howard physically assaulting his second wife as well, but those charges were dropped. Now, I do believe people can change and learn from their mistakes, but I believe this certainly adds to the theory that the man is a narcissistic weirdo. I just wanted to touch on this because I felt strongly about it.